What if I told you the biggest hedge fund in the world doesn't just bet on markets, it runs on principles? That's the story of Ray Dalio. Dalio isn't remembered for one legendary trade. He's remembered because he built Bridgewater Associates into the largest hedge fund on the planet, managing over 150 billion at its peak. Not with intuition alone, but by creating systems and rules that survive across decades. Today, we'll break down why Dalio is considered one of the greatest authorities in trading, how his principles changed not just Wall Street, but corporate culture, and why his warnings about future still matter today. Dalio started Bridgewater out of his apartment in the mid-1970s. He didn't come from old Wall Street money. He built his credibility trade by trade and mistake by mistake. In fact, one of his most famous stories is when he confidently predicted a major economic downturn in 1982 and was completely wrong. He lost so much money that he had to borrow $4,000 from his dad just to pay the bills. That failure nearly ended his career.
I couldn't have been more wrong. I had to let everybody go, and it was a very painful experience, and it turned out to be probably the best experience of my life.
But instead of quitting, Dalio just documented exactly what went wrong. He turned every mistake into a rule and every lesson into a principle. The process became his foundation of Bridgewater's culture, and ultimately transformed it into the largest hedge fund in the world. What makes Dalio an authority is not just performance, but it's the systems he built. His big breakthrough was rethinking how portfolios are built. Instead of chasing the hottest asset, he looked at how different markets behave under stress. Then engineered a balance where one picks up the slack when another one breaks down. That approach became known as risk parity, and later the famous all-weather portfolio, which is still used by institutions around the world. But it wasn't just his strategies that stood out. It was how he ran Bridgewater.
Rather than thinking I'm right, I went to thinking, how do I know I'm right? And it created this open-mindedness.
Dalio believed that the best ideas win, not the loudest voices. So he created a culture where meetings were taped, decisions were dissected, and even the most junior analysts could challenge a senior partner, as long as they had the evidence to back it up. This culture is so radical that when he published his book Principles, it didn't just become a Wall Street bestseller. It became New York Times bestseller, a TED Talk, and a manual for CEOs, entrepreneurs, and leaders around the world. That's how far his influence goes. Dalio's authority goes beyond his fund. His insights on global macro are followed by central bankers, hedge funds, and everyday investors alike. He's spoken at the World Economic Forum in Davos, delivered multiple TED Talks viewed millions of times, and his warnings on debt cycles and inflation are regularly featured on CNBC and Bloomberg. Recently, Dalio has been vocal about the risks of US debt and the shifting balance of global power, predicting that the coming decade will test markets and nations in ways that we haven't seen in over a generation.
And I'm worried about something worse than a recession. We are having profound changes in our domestic order, how ruling is existing, and we're having profound changes in the world order. Such times are very much like the 1930s. I've studied history, and this repeats over and over again. So if you take tariffs, if you take debt, if you take the rising power challenging the existing power, if you take those factors and look at the factors, those changes in the orders, the systems, are very, very disruptive. When
somebody with Dalio's track record talks, people listen, not because he's loud, but because he's been right enough, long enough, to earn that kind of credibility. And just like Paul Tudor Jones channels his wealth into philanthropy, Dalio has done the same. He's donated billions to the Dalio Foundation to causes like education, healthcare, and ocean exploration. His work is not just about building wealth, but about building systems in life, in business, and in society. That broader vision reinforces why Dalio is seen as an authority. His impact extends beyond trading desks, into boardrooms, classrooms, and even government policy. Ray Dalio didn't become an authority by being the loudest voice in the room. He became an authority by creating systems that outlasted his own career. His legacy isn't just Bridgewater's returns. It's the principles he shared, turning private wisdom into public playbooks that anyone can learn from. Authority like that isn't built in a year. It's built over decades of testing, failing, learning, and documenting. And if you want to keep sharpening your own edge, check out our website at mubite.com, where we post weekly blogs on trading psychology, strategies, and insights from the world of prop trading. You'll find the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next breakdown of legends in the market.